Welcome to the show. A bleak start to the Anzac weekend for the Steel and ANZ Championship action, down by 10 before they could blink, with the only consolation the damage was limited to 13 points by game's end. More on that match shortly. The Pulse fared no better and dented their finals hopes with a hefty loss. Lucky for them, semi-final rivals the Fever and Thunderbirds also fell by the wayside, though the Adelaide franchise were only tipped over by one. Same goes for the Tactics, who gave the Mystics a genuine scare. Well, Wendy, a trip of contrasting fortunes. A good start against the Tactics for a win and a bad start against the Swifts for a loss.
Yeah, it was a tough trip. Obviously, it was good to get the win against the Tactics and then be on the road after that. But to go down to the Swifts by 13, really disappointing. We went over there, had trained well leading up to it, and thought we would, if we played well, we could beat them over there.
Do you think the positions on the table, one of the motivating forces, the Swifts are starting to slide? They absolutely needed to win, whereas you're playing for some mathematical formula?
Yeah, I guess for us, playoffs hopes are out, and if you've got a team chasing that top four, they're always going to be out there to fight. But for us, we're trying to win every game and finish the season well, and it was extremely disappointing the way we played, especially in that first 7 minutes.
Yes, I think you made sort of 10 mistakes and they scored each time. That doesn't often happen, but to come back from that was always going to be very, very tough. Yeah,
they're a great side. They've got a great seven and then a few good reserves too. So you can never give a team that much of a sniff. And they just capitalised on all their mistakes, and it was a pretty embarrassing effort, really.
How did you enjoy the change of positions?
Yeah, didn't mind a bit of scent every now and then. It's good. Probably didn't play as well as I would have liked there. Certainly a lot to work on, but it's just nice to play with different combinations and get out there and try something new.
What was the interest in the game in Canberra itself? Because it was a new experiment.
Yeah, a lot of the girls hadn't been to Canberra, so it was cool to go to a new place. But unfortunately, it wasn't a sellout by any means. So there was a few spare seats in that. But I guess Anzac Day and people doing their own thing. But there's a little bit of hype. Yeah, but probably not as much as I thought there would have been. So
what's the plan now for the rest of the season? As you say, playoffs are a long way off.
Yeah, they are. We just need to finish well, I guess, and then players are probably playing for spots in teams and franchises. So individually, I think you'll see hopefully some more improved performances, because you just can't afford to play like that against any team in this comp, or else they're just going to capitalise on it. So for us, we really need a lift for the last 4 games.
You can do some damage to some other people's prospects though, can't you? Which is always fun in some regards.
I think that'll come into it actually. You look at who we've got left, and this year's just been a crazy comp. The teams are so tight. There's so many teams that are vying for that top place, so it's going to be an interesting finish, that's for sure.
All the talk was about the Swifts at the beginning of the season, but it does seem the Vixens are the form side at the moment. Do you see them keeping that up?
Yeah, Vixens are a strong side, and obviously the Magic are right up there too. Both teams are going really well, so I think we'll probably see those in there in the Swifts, and then there might be a bolter for that 4th spot.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice to have 2 New Zealand teams, and I suppose the Pulse are the best chance, although the Firebirds just got a bit of an edge on them at the moment, so the game between them is going to be great. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I think it might be the first year, I'm pretty sure it could be the first year that maybe it's only 1 New Zealand team, just with the way the table's looking and the results that are coming. So hopefully we can get another New Zealand team up there, but it could be, I don't know, my pick, it won't be. It might be 3 Aussies.
You think so? Yeah. I'm looking at the Mystics. They're regretting a poor start of the season because they're now close enough, but they've got a terrible points differential, and they're suffering for that.
Yeah, they're a great side. They just probably, as you said, didn't start well, and they'll be really disappointed with that. So they're going to be chucking everything into the last 4 or 5 weeks of the comp, and hopefully they can squeeze in that 4th spot too. So there's going to be some huge battles out there, and it's going to be pretty enjoyable. Well,
that's your next challenge against them, isn't it? So they can't afford a mistake, so they'll be trying their very best.
Yeah, they certainly will. I think they had a tight game against the Tactics, and they won't certainly be taking us lightly. They know, when we perform for 60 minutes, we're a threat to anyone. So they'll be taking us nice and hard, and yeah, it'll be a good game hopefully.
The Tactics are interesting, well, a bit of an enigma really. They either get thrashed or they push a team right to the line. They can't get that consistency, and it's so important in this competition.
Yeah, it is very important, and something they'll be really disappointed in. They've had, as you said, a couple of tight games, and then they're letting other scores blow out. So big learning curve for them, and I guess they'll be looking to improve for the last 4 games, 5 games, and they could be causing some upsets too.
What's your view on bonus points? I rather think that should be allowed within, I don't know, 3 or 5 or something, because you're not getting rewarded for big comebacks or pushing a big team.
I think bonus points would be great, especially 2 for a win, and then you're not getting anything if you're losing by 1. So that would make the comp even tighter, I'd say, if you chuck that in there.
And it would, like rugby, it gets the game played to the end, isn't it? Because what we're finding is with a big gap, starting to experiment with players, you're not getting a true feel for the match.
Yeah, I agree with that. It would be a good thing that they hopefully would look at bringing in, and would make sort of hopefully schools not blow out as much as they have been in previous weeks.
The Magic sort of waited for them to fall by the wayside, but somehow they find a way to win every week. Yeah,
they're playing some fantastic netball, and week in, week out they're just playing. They're absolutely consistent, and I think Julie's doing a great job with them, and the girls are enjoying it. So they'll certainly be a threat come top 4.
You'll be looking forward to playing a few games at home, either here or Dunedin, to finish the season off. That makes a change. Yeah,
it will be nice to have a few more games at home. It'll be nice to win one in the stadium, the new stadium. We haven't managed to do that yet, so let's hope we can do that.
It's not a fortress yet, is it? The Sharks lose and you lose. We've got to strengthen that up somehow.
Yeah, we certainly do. So hopefully we can get another win in Dunedin, and then a few in the new stadium would be fantastic.
What about this competition over all these years? Is it much tougher than it was when you started out, do you think?
It's hard to say. I think in terms of, the teams are all evening out a bit more. There's not so many, stronger teams and then weaker teams. Like all the players, as you know, there was a lot of movement from last year to this year. So I think the teams are getting, a lot better, and they're recruiting better probably. And players are training harder and are fitter, faster and stronger. So I think it's a combination of everything.
From a viewer's point of view, a fan, it's frustrating the buy, because then you don't get a good read on what's happening. Do you need it as a player? Do you need a break, or do you think you could play straight through?
Oh, you could probably play straight through. I don't know. Everyone's different, but our buy isn't until the third last round, I think. So
it's not much use to you then, is it?
No, it's probably not much use. Teams who are hitting it probably mid-season are probably in a good situation just to have a week away and refresh yourself and have a bit more time with family and friends and that. So it's definitely got its advantages, but for us playing with theirs so close to the end, I guess it's probably better having it earlier on to freshen you up.
I suppose I can understand it if you had a full round robin against both teams, and there's a lot of extra travel. But with just the one game against the Australians, and it's pretty well planned, isn't it? So you do it in one hit almost.
Yeah, it is really well planned. I guess, it's just something, the comp, it's probably something to do with TV rights and stuff like that. But certainly if it was a double round, you'd be hanging out for a bye weekend just to refresh. Because week in, week out, the games are so brutally tough now, and there's a few girls that take a couple of days just to get over the knocks and the physical nature of the game.
I haven't heard as many gripes about the differences in umpiring this year. Is it me being out of touch, or has it been resolved to a certain degree?
Oh, I think as players you just need to get over it and just stop talking about it and get on with it. We've done that really well heading into the Thunderbirds game, and sort of tried to take the same approach to the Swifts, but unfortunately we just didn't adapt well enough. So I think for the umpires, it's just one of those things that you just need to move on and not get involved in it.
But you can look back over a season when you had the first Australian win in Australia. I mean, that's a huge achievement, was it, in the history of the franchise? Yeah,
no, it was a really big one. Like I'd taken the franchise in the 8th year, I think it was. So for us to win over there was pretty exciting, and to get a taste of it, we certainly wanted to do it again in Swift. So disappointing that we couldn't back it up twice in a row over there.
I'm sure you put a big effort to finish the season with. Thank you very much again for joining us, Wendy.
No worries,
Cheers.
Thank you.
The Swifts' return to form makes the table look like a two-horse race for the final qualifying spot between the Pulse and Firebirds, who are yet to play each other. The Queenslanders having the upper hand for now. The Mystics have put themselves into outside contention, but the hefty negative points differential could come back to bite them. The Fever will be hoping for maximum points all the way through to have any chance, while the others will just be hoping for a miracle. The match of the round next week will be the Pulse Magic rematch on Monday night.